Sometimes a thing happens that restores your faith in humanity, a little bit. See, what you're looking at here is a complete English translation of the original Dreamcast version of Rent a Hero number 1, courtesy of Vincent NL and his talented team of Rent-A-Modders. But this is not just a translation. These guys went the extra mile on this project and they restored missing textures and cut content and hidden modes and all kinds of stuff. So essentially what we've got here is Rent a Hero Ultimate Edition. But what is Rent a Hero, you might ask? Well, it's a Dreamcast remake of a Japan-only Genesis game. It's a comedy action story with a distinctly Japanese sense of humour a la Yakuza et al. And it's also chock full of cozy charm and all that Sega Blue Skies optimism that I'm always banging on about. Now, I'm not going to spoil everything for you in this review because the English fan patch is still fairly new at the time of recording, and I want to give you a chance to go and check the game out without any spoilers. And to that end, I won't tell you any major plot stuff past the first hour or so, although I will try and showcase some of the later areas and features. Maybe, and probably, we'll come back to this game later for a deep dive. So here we are in Taro Yamada's house. This big boy is new to the area, and his dad is throwing a party as a way to introduce the family to the neighbours. Mr. Baron is gobbling up all the food, and so we have to order in. And since the Penguin restaurant is shut, we try the service cafe, and they agree to give us food for 300 gold. Dad dresses up as a kaiju for good luck. Taro is embarrassed to be part of this family. When the food arrives, a mysterious old man gives us a big crate containing, you guessed it, the Rent a Hero costume. So now we get into a play fight with Dad, but due to our new super strength, we end up putting him out of commission with one punch. We are gonna have to do some serious Rent a Hero work to bring in money for the family. That sets up the premise for the rest of the game, and thus we are treated to an incredible title sequence, which I'll give you just a little sample of here. It is perfect. Rent a Hero! Okay, we are Rent a Hero now, and nearly ready to get rocking around Aero City. However, we need a way for clients to contact us about jobs. That's why we hook up our trusty Creamcast and fire it up. And if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll recognise this tune here because I use it as the outro music on every video now. Anyway, our first job is to hand out flyers because no one has actually heard of Rent a Hero, and so we have to tout for business. Along the way we meet Sagata Sanshiro for a sparring match, and also save a woman who is being hassled by a street punk. And it just kinda goes on from there doing odd jobs. No more plot points from me though now guys, just vibes. So I have briefly talked about this game before when I got hold of that unfinished Xbox prototype, and at that time I compared Aero City to Station Square from Sonic Adventure. And I still think that's about right really. It's got a very America by way of Japan, but it's Sega so everything is sunny and happy sort of a vibe, and I dig it mightily. It also has a little bit of that Shenmue appeal where you can potter around in your neighbours' houses and look at their stuff, because even though there is sadly no draw pulling mechanic or first person view, it's still plain to see the amount of love that AM2 put into all the small things here. Every house is a joy to walk around, and you'll find cute and funny things wherever you look. We got the Crab Club. We got the penguins getting married. We got this adorable cat who is kind of a new character with a cool story behind it. So as you can see here, the original game featured a broken model for this cat because the team applied a bottle texture. Probably a mistake made in all the rush releasing the game, these things do happen. But what Vincent and his team did was to extract this model and rebuild the whole thing on Blender, including drawing a cute little face for it. And wow, just look at the results. That's a Dreamcasty looking cat right there. But in fact, this is a 2023 cat in a 2000 Dreamcast game, and it sits there so inconspicuously, as if it should have always been there, because it should. I could keep waxing lyrical about all the work of the devs here or the cool locations in the game from the arcade to the high-tech aesthetic of this headquarters, but chances are you might want to know about what we actually do in the game. So at its core it's an RPG, an action RPG. So that of course means lots of chatting with NPCs, poking around town looking for items and buying health and battery upgrades from the shop. But it also means lots of brawling. The combat here uses the Spike Out engine, and a big shout out to Gareth Clark for cluing me in on that last time I talked about the game. And Spike Out, in case you didn't know, is an arcade beat 'em up published by Sega in 1998. And so the fighting in Rent a Hero feels accordingly arcadey. It's not quite got the chops of something like Dynamite Decker, but it does the job. The combat is the weakest thing about the game in my opinion, but it's still perfectly serviceable, and it feels good to jump kick dudes in the face while dressed up like Space Harrier. And now that I've made that reference, can I just say that I would have loved to see a Taro Yamada cameo in Planet Harriers? Well, at least he had a cameo in Shenmue. But alas, outside of niche cameos and references, this character and this franchise never really went anywhere after this game, probably owing to the fact that it was a Japan exclusive. It still seems to enjoy a fair amount of love over there, what with the Rent a Hero mission in Like a Dragon and the fact that it got its own stage play, which I would still love to see. However, as with many of Sega's cult classic franchises, it's never too late for a comeback. I know we have those Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi rumours flying around right now, and if those are true, and if the games do well, then could it be that Sega might reach into the back catalogue and take a look at the hidden gems? Like Panzer Dragoon Saga, Burned Rangers, and even Rent a Hero. Well, we can certainly dream. But either way, we Westerners now have a proper 3D Rent a Hero game of our very own on the Dreamcast, and I have been smiling constantly all throughout playing. This one goes straight on my list of cherished Dreamcast games, right up there with Blue Stinger and Toy Commander. It's a big, unpolished, janky mess, but it's hilarious, comforting, and the fun just doesn't stop. So thanks again to Vincent and the team for making this a reality and doing such a brilliant job with all the extra work they put in, and thanks to you for watching this little review. If you liked it, please consider hitting the thumb, the sub, the bell, and maybe we'll talk more about this one in future. Take it easy out there guys, and I will see you in the next video.